Hello, my name's Bill Pickle, and I want to tell you that I'm glad you're here with me, but it's a very sad day for those of us in the political world, and especially a sad day for those in the political world of New York City. The longtime mayor Ed Koch of New York passed away this morning about 2 a.m., a heart failure, and at the age of 88. Well, I tell you what, Ed Koch was what a man. That's all I can say. What a man. And he served New York City well. You know, a mayor of New York City is just like being the president of a country. With the population of New York, all the issues that surround it, being mayor is a very, very big deal. And I want to tell you, a lot of people don't realize that Ed Koch was a liberal. He was a Democrat. And in some issues, he was very liberal. In others, especially in financial, he was more of a middle of the road, maybe even crossed the road in his earlier careers. And that was something that I admired about him. And he was my hero. I have to admit, I liked Ed Koch. He was my hero because he was never politically correct. I mean, he just called it how it was. If you liked it, fine. If you didn't, fine. But you always knew where Ed Koch sat on any given subject. He stood up to political foes. He stood up to union bosses. As a matter of fact, when the when the buses all went on strike and everything, he decided that he was going to walk everywhere he went, and he did. Matter of fact, he went to the Brooklyn Bridge and encouraged everybody there to walk across the bridge. Don't take the metro. Why give in? Why give in? So he was always one of those that stood for what he thought was right and always spoke his mind. He never hesitated to tell you exactly what he thought. And you know what? He would take it too. You know what he dished out, he could take. And I admire him for that. And, like it or not, that was Ed Koch. If not for the accent, my accent, I could play Ed Koch in any movie about him. He was just like me. He was short, bald, kind of pudgy. He believed in his service to New York City. He believed his service and his results of what he accomplished in New York City was much more important than anything personal in his life. Many news media would ask him personal questions, and he would always come back and say, that is my business, not yours. No matter what it was, no matter the subject. If it was about his personal life, he'd say, it's off limits. He said, my personal life has no effect on my performance as your mayor, and it's none of your business. Ed Koch, this is something a lot of people don't realize. Ed Koch, back in the late 80s, in the 80s and 90s, really was more of a Republican than he was a Democrat. He moved way over to the right. He was not just in the middle between Democrat and Republican, he was way across on the right-hand side. Matter of fact, in the late 90s, he even had a conservative talk radio show. And so that's why I think that he is my hero. He was his own man. He spoke his mind. He was able and willing to listen and work and do what was best for his city. And he was not afraid to stand up to the parties and do what he thought was right. You know, I want to miss Ed Koch. You know, he 88 years old. He had a long, healthy, successful life. He saw the light of conservatism late in his life. You know, matter of fact, he supported George W. Bush in '04. And he addressed the RNC, and what a presentation he gave. Standing ovation at the RNC. Well, I hate to say it, but the man is gone. He will be missed by many of us politicos. He will certainly be missed by all those in New York. And all I can say is, good night, Ed. You'll be missed. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again here in the Pickle Barrel in the near future.